What up, guys?
Who do you want to start with, Vanessa? Sorry, Divinely. I'll let you pick, Divinely.
All right. Um, let's do Linda. Let's do it.
Ooh, let's go ahead, Linda. Linda, what brings you here? What made you? What? Who were you before you realized all the possibilities and all the things that you were capable of doing?
Um, I think I was whoever everyone thought was acceptable to be. Um, I have no idea who I was. Um, I'm just and then what was the other question?
No, it's just who do you think that you were?
Yeah, it was just what was acceptable because since I was very little, I kept getting told like that I was too much or I was always grounded or I was always getting set everywhere. So I kind of had to watch what people did that was like that people were okay with and kind of be like that. And so I would just kind of try to blend in with everyone. So I would go unnoticed because if I was noticed, it wasn't for a good reason.
So, why don't you tell us
All
a
right.
little bit about yourself so that we understand where you're coming from when it comes to your name. How old were you when you started seeing things, when everything started to make sense, or your a little bit of your background?
Okay, well, my name is Linda. Um, I've been experiencing things since I was very little. I want to say like maybe three. Well, um, I would see things. I remember seeing a lot of things, and growing up, growing up, it was kind of hard because, like I said, I was always getting told that I was too much or this and that. Um, and and there was like some abuse going on at home, like around like age 5 or so, 4 or 5. And it was like never addressed. So I kind of realized, well, then like I not to say anything. The same with school. Uh, it was I got bullied a lot. Like it got to a point where like if I would this was like in the between kinder and second grade. Like if I would go use the restroom, I had like these two girls that would go in there and like one would go from underneath the stall and the other one from like the top, and then they would like shove me in the toilet and like
All right.
ask me like, "Why are you crying?" Or they would like shove me like in the sink and then pour like water like in this area, and they would throw me like out and be like, "Ew, you peed yourself," and like in front of everyone. But I was really smart because when I was in the first grade, I was in like the gate program or whatever. And then like these other classrooms, and then they wanted to jump me from the first grade to like the third grade, but nobody knew I was autistic. So I had this big old meltdown because I didn't want to change classrooms, especially my desk. And this whole thing happened, and they were like, "Ugh, like she's just crying. Let's just leave her." And and I kept getting kicked out of all of the schools I would go to, but not because I was like a rebel. I just apparently I always had a smart mouth, so I learned to just stay quiet. And
Thank you for sharing that.
That's beautiful. Eliza, what how about you introduce yourself
Hi,
and let us know who you are?
my name is Eliza. I basically started seeing stuff around like 12 is when I felt like the biggest shift. But I didn't really get into like shadow work or anything like that until I would have to say until last year.
Like, when is it that you, or what is it that you think you had to go through, or what? Because we noticed that Divinely Diamond, Linda, have gone through some pretty and even myself. I mean, I didn't have the best childhood either. We're gonna dive deep into that later on, but
I know.
but we've all gone through some like. Now I know you more, and I know that you didn't have any type of uh. What do you have to say about that, or how do you tell us more about yourself? Let's put it that way.
Um, Personally, I would say that just because it didn't necessarily come from like family, it doesn't mean that like it did not happen, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Right.
like something like very like kind of like child on child essay. That did not happen like no adult, nothing like completely at school.
Yeah.
There was like instances like that. Like so it was basically it was like home was fine, perfectly fine. I have really good supportive parents. They're not perfect. Nobody's perfect, but like they did give me like everything and do their best to not only break like patterns they've been through, but like they've done a lot. So it's kind of weird because it's not necessarily like from the home, but it's like outside the home.
But it still counts though. Like,
Yes.
um, what environment made you, or what environment did? Is there any question actually, Divinely Diamond, that you want to ask them?
So Eliza, what's still unfinished for you? What's still like what's considered the live version of you? Not the story that you've already told, but what would you consider the current present version of you right now?
I would say the version of me right now is in this transition of like no longer um I would say mourning past self, but it's more like accepting it and letting go more and like being okay with the change. Because that was the thing. It's like I understood, I knew what was the change before then and now, but it's like I fully couldn't get into it because there was a piece that like still
Yeah.
wanted to hang on even though it didn't feel like me anymore. So I would have to say that I'm currently in the process of like no longer mourning but accepting it and getting into I would say like this new stage of like accepting and like even doing more work. Like I still don't feel like completely like my shadow work, but I think I'm at a good place.
I think it's interesting that you said that you no longer mourn the past version of you. I think a lot of us don't really talk about that. We're usually talking about the current version or what we're expecting for our highest version to achieve, but we don't really get into mourning who we were before. And I think that's really interesting that you bring that up. Um, it's like we're almost mourning, like when we mourn the version of us, it's like we're mourning the death of us. You're mourning a person that's alive but no longer. And it really truly feels like a grief. I think that's crazy.
It really does. Like it's like you
Yeah.
kind of get into like this crisis of like I used to be this way. Like why is it so hard for me? Even if you didn't like those certain patterns, you were
Right.
even like
And you end up
shameful
missing
of them.
it.
Yeah, it's like a piece of you's like that was me, and it's like no, no, like no, like it's not anymore. You have to accept it. So
Yep.
it's like kind of like
Yep.
denial and like, yeah, being missing that
It
person.
almost makes me wonder, like, you think it could be like so when we think about this, do you think that it could be an attachment? Do we develop an attachment issue with the past version of us? Because you said even when we grow out of the things that we've grown out of into our current version, right? And that's something we're still mourning, even though we're no longer in that headspace to want that thing or whatever. It's like, okay, we're grieving that even when we're out of that version, but what would you think? that came from? Like, do you think we develop over time? Do we develop an attachment, like I guess an attachment with our like our past version of ourselves? I don't know.
Oh,
It made me think of that.
I would
I don't
definitely say
know.
like a abusive codependent relationship to a certain degree because it's
Yeah.
like you hate that person, but you can't let them go.
Syndrome.
Like
Boom.
you're
There you go.
miserable, but you can't let it go.
Yep. Yep.
100%. What do you think on that, Linda?
Hmm?
What do you think on that about mourning? Like, I like that you asked that because that was something I was thinking about when she mentioned the word mourning itself. Um,
Yeah.
what is your idea on that, Linda? What is it that
Well, I think like the morning part was, oh my God, it was like, it's like gut wrenching because, um, okay, like, for me, it got to a point where I felt like, like, I wasn't allowed to feel bad or sorry for myself when things happen because everyone just kind of treated me as like, well, you deserve it or you deserve it. So,
Like you're not allowed to feel like that, you know?
so in those moments or like, those times, I kind of like got it in my head that like I shouldn't feel sorry for myself because like why? Like, and so finally got to a point where I stepped away from everybody. I don't talk to anyone. I just backed away because it was too much. And I finally sat with myself and thought about like that version and like everything that she had to put up with and oh sorry.
Yeah.
No, I
No,
can
let her
feel it.
out.
I can feel it. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
No,
That's
it's
okay.
okay.
It's and I think
Like,
that's like the rawness of it, the reason why we need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, it was like I kind of like got to feel bad for her and be like, it's okay. And then after that, it just feels like, I mean, it's obviously, but it's like you can finally keep it a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
And I
Hmm.
and I agree with that.
Sorry.
No, no,
no, it's okay.
No,
You're
you're
like, I'm
fine.
like, literally, I can feel it too. That tightness. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can feel it too.
and it's true. Like
You were conditioned, you know?
exactly, and the fact that the what she mentioned right now, where she said that she finally was able to um look at or feel mourn for herself or like feel sorry for herself, or I see it as in being able to sit with yourself and then see how many times you fell and learning to have compassion for yourself and realizing that you got yourself up. I got myself up every single
Yep.
time, right? Because
Yep.
you become dependent of somebody. What are you gonna do when that person's not there, right? What are you gonna do? I think for me it was mourning the what was before, not necessarily myself, but mourning the idea of the of knowing that the world that I lived in did not exist. Mainly because
Mm.
it came from because the side of my family that I knew was the closest, or I knew as the tightest, like more family bound, were the ones that hid the most or had the most secrets. And everything was just narrow vision, like we don't talk about certain things. And I think it's something that is that we like end up that's where we end up finding religion in or refugee or refuge in religion because we end up seeing our pain and not being allowed to cry for it, whether because you have a strong mother, usually in the Hispanic culture, it's going to be a strong mother, or a very
Yeah.
submissive. And the thing is that we don't realize how much we are affecting both sides. Because, for example, you see Linda, she is somebody that had to go through people that were the product of unspoken truth, if you think about it. Why? Because that mother that didn't talk about her traumas, your epigenetics. I have read that epigenetics change whenever you're a child,
That's
and that changes your DNA, right? So even if you haven't told your kid about what traumas you've been through, that is still passed on to your child, and then it comes and it is born in the black sheep, right? Where I'm gonna wait till she comes back. That's paused.
I hear you guys. Sorry.
No, no, it's okay.
Okay.
So epigenetics will change, right, based on your environment at the age of between 0 and 7 years old, if I'm not mistaken. So that means that your DNA changes, which means that as a mother, you're transferring that DNA, you're transferring all that dysregulation to your child, right? Because your child feeds himself from you. And that is how I think about it. Like, why allow it to transfer on to people that end up reflecting it onto others? You can't have everything good all the time, right? But
Yeah.
if you do have the knowledge, why not share it with those that do want to listen? You can't make people do anything or believe in anything. I am, I, I know that I am on the right path, and I just want people to see that there's other perspectives. Had you had, let's say, for example, Liza or Linda, had you had a place where you listened or you heard or you went to that you were told, hey, that's not okay. It doesn't matter what your family says, or what your boss says or what your friend says, but there's a little bit of codependency, because I've had to embody all those things. But imagine if somebody was there to even be with you whenever you didn't want anybody around. Like, who was there the
Mm.
whole time? Think about it. You had to get yourself out of there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
But if you think about it, in many cultures, that little voice in your mind, a lot of people don't have a narrator of a narrator, right? But
Mm.
the voice in
Yeah.
your mind is your consciousness, right? That's what in some places they describe that as being God. So why do we give the authority to somebody else to say you can go to heaven, but you're not allowed, when you have direct access to Jesus
Access.
Christ? You can call him
Right.
anytime you want.
Right.
Say, hey, homie, are we gonna go party or not? Because
Right.
you know what? It's Friday night. No, I'm kidding. No, because you need to um you need to stop and smell the roses and see that you have free will.
Mhm.
And that's why we can go from religion, we can go from past experiences. But at the end of the day, all those experiences lead us to knowing that we're all part of God, and that
Yep.
we don't see boundaries, because we know that in us, it's like something drives you, right? Something pulls you to say something and to share whatever it is that you experience, because you figure the puzzle out, and you realize that it was so easy and all the answers were all around us, but we just allowed somebody else to interpret it for us.
Oh,
And why is it so easy for us to let someone drive our shit, or I should say our life? Why we're so programmed and quick. Well, we're told this so and so says this, so we have to. Why is it so easy for us to just believe that, instead of just saying, "Oh, I have the answers." Oh, no, you don't. God forbid I have the answers. I'm disobeying God saying all that, but you are God. That's where the confusion lies. Another thing was, I noticed it's kind of on the lines of what you're saying as far as watching your thoughts. I always say Go through be the observer of the observant mind. That is really how you're going to sit with yourself. And when you're observing the mind, you're observing your thoughts because you're not your thoughts. They're literally emotions that come and go. You just sit, you can feel them for a little bit, but they're not allowed to stay. That's not who you are. And I think that's such a huge, like a good technique, like an exercise that people can. I usually tell them to start doing that when it comes to if they want to know how to go within. You can meditate, you can do these things, but you can also sit down and watch your thoughts as they're running the show right now.
Or simply just let them sit yourself outside and watch the situation as if you were a spectator without any
Right.
emotions to attach to the situation, and or simply like how would you receive the message? What is your relationship with God, Eliza? How do you see that?
Complicated, like I would say very complicated. It's in well, to some degree complicated and good because I still get those moments where I'm like, why does like not specifically me, but I just like as much as I don't want to pay attention to the world around me because I know that things were put in for like distraction or like to make people anxious
Right.
to turn into like a system where you can't get control, like how we were talking about Kat Von D, like she did the work, she got scared, she ran to Christianity. So I know that a lot of stuff like that happens for those reasons. Sometimes it's hard to like see stuff that happened that are heavy and be like, why do you let this happen in a way? Or why do you even let people make people think this way? So you know what I mean? Like I
Yeah.
question like this message a lot. Um, but then there's other times where I'm like, no, we are one. Like we are one. Like I am you and you are me. We are together. Like you you gave me the ability to feel all this for like a reason. Like kind of like or like like sometimes even like you purposely make this so like people can eventually find themselves or it's just it's very like I said, it's very complicated.
Hmm. Yep.
What about you, Linda?
My relationship with God, Jesus, quick. um,
He's on me.
I, I believe in everything honestly, and so yeah,
I love it.
No, yeah. 'Cause sometimes it's like how can you explain that I believe in this and this and that? Like we can
Yeah.
get
because
collective stuff of different things.
sorry,
No, you're good, no thing.
the thing I will say is I cannot, absolutely cannot do like church, especially Catholic church. It's like I'm gonna sign up for a gym. Like you have to like bend and stand, and and then it's like yeah, you have to like shake everybody's hand and like all that exchange of energies. Like no.
Right.
I
No,
don't
it's always crazy.
What is this?
can't even enjoy it because the whole time I'm having anxiety about the end part of it.
Yeah.
So I just
Oh
cannot.
yeah.
This
Yeah, I do like that.
you see, and then the judging afterwards, right? Because we all
Oh
judge.
God, yes.
And I'm in there
Oh
judging
yeah.
everybody.
I found myself
Yeah.
in that.
I'm like, you ain't holy.
Hmm.
Holy light chose me. Ah.
Did you
No.
see how she was showing her elbow? Like it's because I came from like
Right.
a very like
Yes.
Pentecostal, so it's like no, like
So no, I
long
cannot.
sleeve, like long skirt, don't cut your hair, like
Yeah.
so it's kind of like oh my God.
I feel like it's funny because they'll ask for you to like donate to tides. Is it tides or whatever? But it's really going to the church. I mean, the church is at the end of the day, the church is a business, bro. They're running that business. They have to pay for that business. And a lot of these people think, oh, I'm just gonna put this dollar in there and it's gonna go straight to heaven or whatever the case, bro. Whatever. But it's really you're really just paying the pastor to be there and keep the church going. And it's up to them. Like you want maybe how they look at it. Like, oh, well, I'm contributing to my community or whatever. But it's just, are they telling you that though? Like,
Mhm.
is it? I feel like it's just misleading, bro.
It's conditional
100%.
love, just dressed as
Yes,
non-conditional,
have you
right?
seen the look they give you?
Yeah.
You don't put anything
Oh
in.
yeah.
Oh my
It's
god.
manipulative as well.
Yeah. Oh,
Like, it's
Yeah.
manipulative because it's
girl.
like you're supposed to, or else like you're greedy, and
Now,
it's
Oh
a
yeah.
I do want to mention though, there are people that do practice the religion in good faith, and
Hmm.
unfortunately, there are people that don't do it. Um, and they're the ones that, if like everything else, right? The negative always overshadows the good, right? But if you
Yeah.
realize, I stopped going because I would go there and I would sit and I would judge everyone, and I realized that everybody there was a liar because the same guy that was there with his family was cheating on his wife with the girl that was sitting with his family, you know?
Oh yeah.
And
And you think the pastor himself is innocent? Oh girl.
exactly. So then I felt I'm not going to go until I'm ready to go. But then I realized that there was more church within myself than there was there because I learned more about him in my obstacles, you know? And I realized that we fear God. We were told to fear
Mm.
God. But how?
Yep.
I remember saying the first time I am God and I kind of feared it, but then I embraced it afterwards. And I was
Hmm.
like, why would God always make me feel guilty for my sins and not tell me, now you learned a lesson? How is it that you are going to become a better or become the true version of yourself by presenting yourself to others the same way? Because Jesus, when he was visiting the people with leprosy, he didn't see any. He didn't see any sickness. He wasn't scared. There was no face mask, you know, and here we are so attached to the material world
Right.
where we indebt ourselves to have the cars or the houses that we cannot afford just so that the neighbor feels like he has less of a life than we do, you know?
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
and you're right. Religion is definitely everything was or every it's very controversial to say this, but unfortunately our belief became a transaction that there was a price for. Because what costs you? What do you end up losing the second that you say I am that I am, or the second that you accept your truths, regardless of everybody else's truth, and you say okay, that is okay, and I still love you because you have not. You're not in the same mentality that I am, and it's not undermining anybody else. It's just accepting that you can only lead but never make any choices for anybody else. And
Yeah.
also protect yourself and distance yourself when it's something that doesn't benefit you without being considered selfish or without being considered uh I don't know, some people can consider arrogance, confuse arrogance or confidence with arrogance, you know, or vice versa.
Yeah. They
Um
think it's coming from that place. It's really not. It's not like an ego thing, egotistic thing.
exactly. And I don't know, for me it was hard, but it honestly keeps you from being so angry all the time because you realize there's nothing to be angry about because the person in front of you has a whole life, a whole universe in front of them. And your reality or their issues are what they're presenting you when they give
Hmm.
you when they yell at you, whenever they're demanding or whatever. And all you can do is just smile, you know. I think I learned that in retail because you're only like you're never supposed to undermine yourself, you know? Like
Right.
there's only to a certain extent. And when you spend that time with yourself, you learn your boundaries because you start to go through that moment of loneliness.
Hmm.
Then you don't want to talk to people, and then you realize that you're in control of your energy and who you share it with.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what it comes down to.
100%. And I don't want anybody to think that this is just for females or anything, but guys also have feelings. Newsflash, guys. Men have feelings too. And that is what I mean when I say that we cannot heal the mother wound without healing the son. Why? Because men may not be emotionally toxic or anything like that. They're maybe gonna drink their pain away. Maybe they're gonna come to a point where they can't hold it in anymore and they lash out on their wives. How many documentaries have we not seen? And it's a choice.
Yeah.
We've all had that choice of darkness, because you can either learn from your mistakes and want to give back in whatever way, whether it is you get the career of your dreams, whatever it is that we do in order to build from your pain, or you can stay in that dark spot, dwell from it, and blame everybody else except yourself, and realize that you allowed it, and hate everybody for it, and just
Yeah.
destruct.
Hmm. Yep. I think they, they don't want us to really know our power. So I think they set these systems in place. They did a lot of these things when we first came in, and they really, they really just,
Now, going back to the whole the Bible concept and how witchcraft and tarot cards and everything, I feel like you're 100% right. Divinely Diamond.
Mhm.
Um, I think it's just your energy that is going into these things. Actually, I learned this from one of my viewers on TikTok. Her name's Anna Krista. That everybody should learn about tarot, because it's not going to tell you the future. It is mainly going to tell you the energy surrounding a situation. And when I mentioned the whole mother wound along with the son, I think that, like I had mentioned earlier, that all these men go around and they end up, we are the ones who set those standards, technically. We have men that are emotional, and then we consider that they are not man enough. And then we have men that don't show emotions, and then we are wondering why they don't hug us and kiss us, without realizing that a man is born as a baby. He's born with his work boots on. And he's pretty much told, this is how men behave, and you cannot feel. And newsflash, men are human too. They have feelings.
Yeah.
And I think that a man is 100% a man when he can recognize, be able to come home and be able to have the confidence and the ability to be strong and weak with his wife, and his wife being able to understand that sometimes it is love is not shown with words, but they're shown in actions, like having a good home, having a car that runs and is safe for you, having a roof over your head, like I said, having food in your fridge. Um, so I want to make sure that we all like, thank you for being here, guys. Like, this project is the
Thank
I Am
you.
project is to really define ourselves and see what really makes us, based on our experiences, and not the things that we were told to believe, not the things that we were told that we were supposed to believe, the things we were supposed to fear. Because I used to think I knew everything, but I don't. I can only speak now from my personal experiences, and I think,
Yeah.
with that being said, I welcome everybody else's
Mhm.
perspectives, because I know that both can exist in the same room. What do you guys?
Exactly.
First,
I agree. I think it's only a matter of time between if we come to, I guess, the collective point. We've all been told to be separated in some type of way, but um eventually the end goal is to end as a collective. And if we can get to that point, I think humans are endless at that point.
Yeah.
One big collective.
Yeah, I mean, don't let the spiritual talk scare you, because this is only going to exist for whenever you're ready. Like, it's nothing that you're going to need to be given and said, here, you need to follow this.
Yeah.
It is here for whenever you're ready to really invest time in yourself and say, I'm done going in a loop. Because in reality, that's what we're doing. We're changing the faces of the same situation, but we are in denial. We don't want to see how we were the bad guy in some situations, and how all of it had nothing to do with the person in front of us, but a lot with where we came from and how we grew up.
You know you're
Work
you know
Right.
on
you're ready when it resonates.
A wise person
Exactly.
said, if you spot it, you got it.
It's gonna hit you when it hits you. It's usually on your own time, because I believe that we go through soul contracts. Like, we sign a soul contract, we come down here. Hey,
Uh-huh.
it's literally already there. So that's what I had to remind myself when I first awakened. I wanted to show everybody, this is the way. This is how it's done. Like, I wanted to save everybody what I went through. I couldn't save nobody. It's literally on their own time. Everyone has their own journey. I'm not here to convince you, bro. I can just give you the tools. I can't tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could tell you, but I can't make you do it. So, yeah.
You're literally saying the exact words that I always say. Like, this is only here whenever you guys want to, but I'm not going to coddle you. I'm going to be there to tell you when you are, I'm going to be there to tell you all the things that you don't want to hear.
Right.
So don't expect to dish it if you can't, to serve it if you can't eat it, or if you can't take it yourself.
yeah.
I don't
Yep.
know how that saying goes because my dyslexia gets in the way, but the whole point is to have this place. We invite everybody to share their opinion if they want to participate, if they have a story to tell, because the whole point is to share um, all the sides, not just one side, but share every side that we've been presented with, and show that in the end it leads us to one thing. Doesn't matter how you see it,
Yeah.
how you read it. And we just go based on our experiences. We can't go based on what somebody else said. We only speak from what we know.
Yeah.
Most
Anything you
authentic.
guys want to add?
Thank you.
Thank you for having us and for this
Thank you.
starting this project. I'm really excited and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah,
Heck
I'm so
yeah.
excited to be a part of it. Thank you, Frank.
Cool. So hopefully there's many more to come. And we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Hi, guys.